I'm going to talk today about how to generate clean energy to mitigate the pollution of the environment. Have you wondered what does it take to produce electricity? And you would say like, oh, you just go into a dark room and you turn the switch on and you have electricity right there. But it takes more than that. In order to produce electricity, we need to start with the mother nature. The earth produces all the resources necessary to generate electricity, like natural gas, coal, or wine. Here in this video, we are going to watch how electricity is produced. Here, as we can see, the coal is used to produce the chemical energy that is used in the furnace to produce steam of vapor. In those pipes water run through, and with the heat in the furnace, the vapor is produced to move the turbines. And when the turbines start to move through a motor, that mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy, and that's how we produce electricity. Currently, that's the way in which most of the electricity is produced. But in that process, a lot of greenhouse gases are emitted. There are so many sources of greenhouse gases. Here we can see air transportation, oil production, agriculture, but the main one is the electricity generation. Currently, we are producing as much as extra heat as it would have been 400,000 Hiroshima explosion per day. So it is true that we have a huge world and a huge atmosphere, but we are producing too much heat every day. Well, here in this graph you can see that 31% of the greenhouse gases are produced by the electricity, then 27% by transportation. But as you can see here, electricity is the largest contributor to greenhouse gases. Well, the effect. Global warming is already underway, with consequences that we must face today as well as tomorrow. Evidence of change to the Earth, physical, biological, chemical, are evidence in all the continents. For instance, by the end of the century, 50% of our species are in danger. Rising global temperature. 14 of the 15 years hottest has been in this young century. The hottest of all was last year. Change in weather and precipitation patterns. Last year in Houston, it rained for 2 days. 162 billion of gallons, that represent more than 2 days of the full flow of the Niagara Falls in the middle of the city. Well, the solution is expand the use of renewable energy and reduce the use of electricity generated by coal. Like, two solutions are the solar and the wind electricity generation. So, should we change? The answer is yes. Are we changing? The answer is yes too. Last year, in 2000, it was a projection for wind electricity production, and the goal was to produce 30 gigabytes by 2010. But the reality was that the mark was beat over 40.5%. And last year, on December 26 of 2015, Germany produced 81% of its energy by renewable sources. the solar. In 2002, the projection was that the solar energy will grow 1 gigabyte per year by 2010. But the reality is that the goal was exceeded by 17 times over, and last year it was beat up by 18 times over, and this year we are on track to beat it up by 68 times over. Well, US and China are the largest producers of greenhouse gases. As you can see here, China produced 27% and the United States produced 17% of the greenhouse gases. In the United States has started some changes already. Some coal plants have been closed, and in the next 10 years, so many others are going to be closed. And the United States is helping to the people that is investing in renewable source of energy or electricity. China, well, in China, the president announced that they will develop a trading carbon system with Europe in order to reduce their emissions. What about the developing countries? Well, in the developing countries, there are so many places that do not even have grid. So they're going to jump. They're not going to have the grid. They're just going to start having renewable sources of electricity. Like for instance, here you can see in a house in India that there is a solar panel on the roof. Well, and the sun produces every hour enough energy to supply the world with electricity for a full year. So we have the resources and we can do it, and we can help our planet to be